Hello and welcome to a VOD review with the NA Duel Test Series eventual winner, ZorakWar. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Not bad at all. So we're going to be looking over Casbah, which I think we both agreed was the most interesting of the maps played in the Grand Finals. I just wanted to get your impressions before you went into this one, the Grand Finals itself. How did you feel about your matchup versus Davjs?
I feel pretty confident versus Davis, especially coming into this one 2-0 up. I feel like I still had some good maps to play
Right.
in case I did lose this one. And um, yeah, so I was definitely feeling good coming into this one.
And how do you feel about Casbah, the map?
Casbah in general, I think it's one of the maps you can play the slowest if you want. Maybe Perilous is a little slower, but I feel like it's more consistent to get wins on this map because you don't necessarily have to execute as much. You can always kind of back off and if a fight goes bad, you don't have to commit and die and try to get a good spawn or something. It's much more forgiving to play out of control.
Right. And I think what was quite interesting about your tournament run is you dropped to losers weirdly early. But by this point, 2-0 up in the Grand Finals, you must have been feeling supremely confident, right?
Yeah, I was playing kind of bad in the beginning of the day, I think. Ray is also a strong opponent who I met in the first round. And so we went into like a 5-match set where he barely won in double golden frag. And so that dropped me down. And from there, I just was like, okay, I have to play better. And so just managed to bring it back. I guess I kind of, as the tournament went on, I was getting better and better. By the Grand Finals, I think I was in kind of top form.
Yeah. I mean, you certainly looked at this Grand Finals being a 3-0 victory or a 3-1, if we want to pretend that Davjs had his winner's bracket advantage. Yeah, you looked really, really good. So I'm going to start it off. Just tell me whenever you want it paused, and we'll keep the volume on the cast is very low. So coming into this, obviously you're looking really good. Any special game plan, or is it just see how the game goes?
Here, I think I like playing this one slow. So if I have the choice between a 50-50 fight and letting my opponent have control, I'll just let my opponent have control.
Right.
I feel like I can take less risks and just outplay my opponent in the long run. Coming off the spawn, I'd say I would be spawning over red side, and it's kind of the spawn you don't. I don't know. I don't like it as much because you're without the rail, and sometimes your opponent can rush to hit a rail on you as you grab that blue, but he didn't. I heard the sounds wrong. I take quite a bit of damage there, and so now I'm like, all right, I'm out of control.
And so out of control on this map, you're looking to get that pincer, I would assume, but he's going to be doing his damnedest to make sure you don't. You're hiding around at the red, very evasive here.
Yeah.
At this point, were you trying to steal the red? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I was a little aggressive on that red, I think. Really don't remember what I was thinking there, but that was probably a bad move. Definitely after taking all that damage, I should have just given him the red. He should have known it was coming up, 28. And then at this point right here, when he hits that 90 damage rail, I'm like, oh, wow, I need to dodge the next rail because this is ridiculous. He's doing a lot of damage.
And Davjs was doing this all tournament long. His pincer looked really, really good. And it's especially these aggressive pincers where he'll be the one jumping around a corner and he sort of forces you to be on his screen. He's not waiting. And that must be tricky to deal with, but of course you do eventually.
Yeah, with that kind of play, you gotta kind of sneak and punish. So as they jump around a kind of corner with the pincer out and try to shoot a shot, you gotta be waiting for them at that corner with rockets or something, so they just have totally the wrong weapon out.
Right.
When he misses that pincer shot right there, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. Like, I know I'm leaving that blue up for now because I don't know if it's safe to grab. I wait a little bit till I don't hear anything, and then I can just drop down to red directly.
So presumably you had timing of this. Were you surprised that Davjs was late to it, or was this obvious to you?
Not really. So around the 115, 120 mark is the first time where both the majors will sync up if they're both grabbed as they spawn every single time in a duel. So usually at the 115, 120 mark, the majors are going to be synced. And I just kind of read he was going for the mega, and so I could get the red.
So this is, for the first time since spawn, getting a major item. And Davjs continues to try with the pincer, but you're feeling like comfortable that you can start taking the fight to him at this point, I would imagine.
At this point, I think I still want to play kind of rat style. I prefer to wait till the majors sync up again and then grab one of them. Oh, it looks like I'm making a move on this red then.
Yes, so this is a big moment.
Yeah, it looks like I read which way Davjs was going to be coming, and from that area, I like to. If you go back like 2 seconds, I don't know if you can. Maybe that's hard, but
no, I can. No worries.
Okay, cool. So I'm probably sneaking around near red, and I hear Davjs coming down these stairs, coming from blue, right? And what I do is I hold close with the rockets, since you can hear him coming this way. And there's a few inflection points where I want to place rockets. It's here at the top of these stairs, here when he hits these stairs, and then as he comes towards the red, I keep backing off.
Right.
And so when I give myself like those two areas to land damage with the rockets, it gives me a really good chance to do a lot of damage, back off onto the red, and have a successful fight. I missed the 2 rockets that I wanted to hit, so I'm pretty low here.
Yep. So you're through the tully. He tries to come through, a little bit delayed here, and you're looking to do the classic sort of back away behind the TP. I sound really funny in half speed. All right, let's stop that. But I mean, from where you were in the map, that's quite a successful pickup, really. He should have full control, but you've managed to steal it away.
Yeah, and so I've managed to get away a blue there as well, and so I may be low on HP, but I'm okay with that because HP and Diabotical spawns every 20 seconds.
Right.
So as long as you have some armor on you, it's really quick to get stacked back up on the HP.
You hit a nice pincer there, and then you smell blood in the water. It's quite simple there. What was Davjs doing wrong that allowed you to do that?
So he should have realized after taking red, he hadn't heard me for a little bit, and if he hadn't heard me, he should know like I'm below those stairs, like sneaking, and I was able to kind of come up those stairs and trap him out because he was being just a little bit too loud when he didn't know where I was, and I was more stacked than he was.
Right. So take the blue, full control from here. Waiting for this. So you go from red here. This is an interesting moment because I feel like you could. Yeah, there's a lot of options here, right?
Yeah. So red and mega are coming up at the same time. I just landed a 75 pincer on him, and at that moment, so I'm like, I want to do damage on this red. Goal is to hit him with a pincer after the red. So that does like damage to the armor. Since like if I do damage before, he can just pick up health and be pretty fine. It's like inconsequential, really. So I hit the pincer before. So now I'm like, okay, if he gets the red, I don't think he'll die to another pincer shot. Maybe he would, but now I have below 100 HP. I can take this 50 bubble from him, and I can go take the mega, and he's going to be sweating because that 50 is going to be gone for a long time, and he's going to have to look for 25s that maybe I can trap him out at after I take the mega. So that's what I'm going to do here.
So let's see how that plays out. He does a decent job with the plus pack rocket, and here you are, 50 stolen back to the mega. I mean, everything sort of goes to plan there, doesn't it?
Yeah. And now it's kind of looking for the next blue. Something about this game is you got to really watch your ammo because it's at least coming from Quake Live where ammo is practically free. This game is a lot of ammo management into it.
Yeah, I was actually watching the Frontier before this, and there was a moment where you had like, if you had 3 more cells of shaft or something, you had this frag, and then instead it goes the other way. It's way more common in this game, and I really like it about it. That about it. So playing for this red, you've got the stack advantage here. Pretty simple. You come in, few rockets, hit okay, but you decide to. I'd take sort of an oblique angle here. Were you not looking for the frag here? You just wanted damage?
The thing is, as they back down the stairs, the rocket angles are pretty good for someone aggressing there. And so kind of a couple seconds before, I was trying to get the Doppler effect with my rockets onto the red as he was grabbing it. So that's something that's pretty good. It's like as you're moving forward, as you're shooting rockets, they come in like quicker succession when they land.
Right.
And so it's just a lot better to do damage, catch your opponent out. And then I hit enough, and then at that point I'm like, all right, I don't want to lose too much stack. I'll just like do some damage on the way out and find another engagement. It seemed kind of a good chance for a frag, but it wouldn't leave me in a super good position if I took it and took a lot of damage.
Yep. So in with the shaft here, you bully him off Mega. Again, the plus back rockets from Davjs, reasonably strong. Not that they connected massively there, but they certainly deterred you from going any further.
Yeah, I was actually a little annoyed that that little art piece blocked my vision from hitting a rail.
Yeah. That's, I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But here, 200 for the first time on this map for you. Feeling pretty confident, I'm sure. And trying to find your opponent.
Yeah, at this point, I know he likes going GL when he's out of control, so I just come this way.
So is that because he wants the weapon, or is this a strong position on the map to hold out for control?
Essentially, your opponent has to make some noise to get to you, or if they don't, like, you can see them coming. It's a decently strong position out of control. And here I run out of shaft, so I wanted to just finish him with shaft there, but I didn't have any. And I think I just chased really hard for this one now.
You sure do. And you catch him. 11 damage, all that was needed. 2 more cells, but it doesn't matter in the end. You're going to get the red. But you're going to go to Mega first. And
yeah,
because
I killed him in the red area, it forces the spawn over at the Mega area, so I'm going to see if I can do some damage or even get the Mega. Best case scenario here, if you want to pause again.
Sure.
Best case scenario, he spawns back towards the blue. I'm quick enough, he's slow enough, he decides to grab blue, rockets, rail, and then go Mega. That would let me essentially get a spawn frag and the Mega and then go back to red and see what happens from there. But he went straight to the Weeble. I don't think he even grabbed a weapon, and he threw down the slow Weeble and ran away. So I figured I have to go back to red at this point. I can't chase through the slow Weeble because he'll just get a turnaround onto red.
Right. That sort of decision is one of the things that, as a low-level player, I always worry that I'm being too ambitious when I walk away from a guaranteed major item. But of course, at this level, it's pretty normal. And here, nice rocket, nice pincer.
This fight was really weird for me.
Yeah.
For both of us. Like, these rockets are kind of funny from him. Where it's like ledge rockets that do 0 damage. But yeah, once I take that rocket, I'm a little worried now. I'm like, okay, we're probably pretty even on stacks. I want to grab this 50, but I think I screw up a little bit on my movement here. Yeah, you hit some good rockets.
And taking the 50 there as much for yourself as to take it away from him. So we've gone from 200, pretty complete control. You're now struggling. You're still on high ground though. What are the options?
So Mega is up, but it's a little dangerous to get. So I'm just I think here I'm gonna let him get the Mega, and I'll get this blue. So I think I probably heard him rushing over Mega. No, he comes up this jump pad. So now I know I can get Mega.
Right.
So I think he could have killed me here if he was ambitious enough to look for the rail. I don't know if he had the rail, but... And now I got the Mega. I want to go back over to red and blue.
And of course, he's just chasing you, so he's always going to be behind. He doesn't try and cut you off. Well, there's no way of cutting you off from that part of the map. So, would you say that's a blunder from Davjs? Do you think coming up that jump pad was entirely unnecessary, or with execution a little bit different, was that an okay decision to make?
So he would have had to go for like the hard read there, where like he sits silently at the bottom of the jump pad, waiting for me to start jumping across to the blue. But I think he got a little impatient and decided to go up the jump pad, and at that point I hit a good enough rocket where the fight went favorably for me. So he's kind of got two options where he can just, solidify control, go grab the Mega, or he can trap me out and get a frag. I can close my window if you hear too much background noise.
Nah, it's no worries.
Okay. And so he kind of went in the middle part where he didn't like commit to catching me out, and he didn't try to solidify control, and so it didn't work out for him.
And there, your third frag of the map on the red, and I've lost the rotation in my head, but presumably there's a blue up for you.
Yeah, so usually they spawn this blue when you kill them at the red. So I was just kind of more looking for damage. Should have realized he would have a pincer and not kind of look for that angle. It's pretty obvious of an angle. And I take another shot, and at this point I'm like, I was dumb.
Yeah, so the plan has to change now. You come back for the 50. Presumably are you giving up Mega here?
Yeah,
right.
I'll be giving up the Mega. I might look to see if red is possible, but it's probably not a good idea to push into red.
So, playing with the sound at the moment.
Yeah, I hear him over at the blue, and it's like, all right, well, if you want to give me a free red, I'll take it.
And I think this was the story of Davjs' tournament, is he was very ambitious in his play. Like, he would position himself between... like, he would take his item, then go middle map, try and find some damage. But it did mean that he left items up occasionally, which you really have punished him for that, I think, twice already in this match.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're going to try to catch someone out, you got to... I think he's making a little bit too much noise to do it. Kind of got to be a little bit silent. And so now, I think I may have just forgotten about Mega. Yeah. Probably been better to back off and go get the Mega at this point, but it seems I was just... I must have lost time on it. Oh, here I come, actually.
Here you go. Slow weeble out. Eat a pincer shot. Probably not the nicest thing for you, but all okay. Major item.
I was just playing super safe. It's like, I know after I grab this Mega, he's going to have less stack than me, but the fight can still kind of go bad. And so I might as well throw down the slow weeble, just make it, really dumb for him to push through it if he wanted to. And so he doesn't. And here, we both hit some decent rockets.
And rocket's very powerful in Diabotical at the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Quite meta-defining, I think.
Yeah, and so dropping down with rockets is pretty good.
Yeah.
But I was hoping to kill him before the red, and didn't manage to do that.
Yeah, that seemed a bit of a gamble. You've sort of just bet that you'll hit your shots.
Yeah. That was probably not a good idea.
It's alright, you're allowed a few.
Yeah, well, I talked to somebody, translated something Agent said. He watched the tournament, and he said, somebody asked him if I played well, and he's like, yeah, you played good enough. Which I kind of agree with. I don't think I played my tip-top shape in this tournament. I think I can bring a lot better game.
I mean, it's early in the game's lifespan, though, right? And people are still getting used to the maps. I think, I mean, obviously you showed the best level of play of anyone, so don't beat yourself up too much. So Davis now with a pretty healthy stack. What are you worried about?
So kind of anytime my opponent has the like a good stack in Mega, I'm kind of hoping to get to 200 armor or 200 health. So I want the red and the Mega to sync, and then that gives me like an opportunity to delay or fight or take a major, and then make like a more just a better fight to take in the future.
Right.
I'd rather not, okay, we're both super stacked and we both go at each other and just fight to the death. I prefer just running around, doing little skirmishes every few seconds, and then always positioning myself better to take the next items on the map until eventually I just wear my opponent out of their stack.
I mean, I think Davis very much the sort of player from what I was watching that wanted a brawl, just wanted to have you go mano a mano and see who wins. And then you're sort of the polar opposite of that. So I can imagine it being quite frustrating for him. And maybe, 3 maps in, it's going to get to him at some point. Because you're being very evasive right now. He's got all the stack, but he can't use it. But it does catch you out here. And you were just looking for a bit of free damage there, and it goes wrong, right?
Yeah, so I think when you hear him coming up those stairs, you're like, oh, I can easily hit a rail here. You can pause here.
Sure.
And really, on this map, it's just they get too much velocity coming up those stairs that even if you do hit the rail and they have a good stack, they're going to be on you. But if you want to back up 5 seconds, yeah, okay. So yeah, coming up these stairs, they just get really good velocity. Your rail doesn't stop them, and then they hit a rocket. And then you can go through this kind of slowly. And here it's like, all right, he's chasing me with LG, and vertical LG is going to be hard to hit. So I have a choice here. It depends on where he goes and which way he's looking. I can either go to Mega, where it's not coming up, right? Or I can go to Red hallway. And so I kind of look up at him, and I see which way his model's facing. And he can always move his mouse up, but it's really hard to do a 180 with your mouse and then start moving it up. So I'm going to go to the direction where he has to do a 180 with his mouse and vertical LG 180 and start tracking again. Right. And so that way I can probably live through the LG. So that's what I do here.
So we'll see as that plays out.
So I see he's trying to stop me from going to Mega. So I decide, okay, you have to do a 180 to try to kill me. And I managed to get away.
It reminds me of a funny thing in StarCraft Brood War where, why am I even talking about this? But there was a considerable advantage in win rate for if you were placed in a certain position so that you had to scroll your mouse from right to left rather than left to right. And yeah, I mean, that sort of the biological aspect of the game actually coming into play there. Not something I've heard spoken about much at all.
Yeah, for sure. It's just because you can't always keep looking more down. I think there's a game, Dust. You can look 360 degrees. It's like a single player game.
Yeah.
So that's kind of wonky, but in this game you can't. And so I was just taking advantage of that because that was my only hope of living there. Is the LG track gets lost. He has to try to do a quick 180, and then I got away with the red and a 50 HP bubble. So I was comfortable at this point, and I still have my lead.
Yep. So you have sort of a workable stack. How willing are you to just sit with 2 frags to 1 until the 11-minute mark? Is that something you're considering, or are you always going to be looking for another frag in this situation?
I think another frag's always nice. I'll eventually need one, but I don't really worry about the clock. There's kind of a couple points where I'll worry about the clock. If I'm out of control and the map's kind of really cyclable, I'll think about losing a frag to just to do a lot of damage and get a major and make it hard for my opponent to keep having control. Sorry, I'm closing my window. There's a lot of noise. But I think I think at this point, yeah, I'm willing to just keep a 1 frag lead. I'll just try to run away. Also, if it's about to be golden frag, you want to delay killing your opponent until golden frag hits, and then you can kill him. That's something I was trying to do a couple times in this tournament, but I screwed it up on one time, and then I think the chat tore me apart saying I was bad manners and stuff for not killing my opponent when I could have. It's like, no, I was just waiting until, you know, no point in killing them right before golden time frag.
Yeah. Well, leaving them weak for golden frag is ideal, right? It's way more valuable than the 30 seconds you get.
Yeah. So there I got a lucky rocket that bounces him away from the tele exit. It's really just like you got to back away with rockets and hope the bounce puts your opponent in somewhere they can't keep chasing you. So I managed to do that, and I think I got a turnaround on some items. So now the stats aren't too different, but this mega still kind of puts him in control.
And so he goes from mega to red. And where are you?
I think I had a chance to get this red. I was thinking he was trapping it out. So I was up above, and I thought he was trapping it out.
That's a pretty ridiculous pincer shot he just hit as well.
Yeah, he's really good with flip rails.
Yep.
So I think he sneaks around here, and I should have known he was going to sneak here. He catches me out really well, and combination of me not realizing, okay, he can just sneak around here from the red, and making too much noise myself.
Right.
So take a lot of damage off the spawn there.
I mean, you don't strike me as the sort of person that thinks this way, but are you worried at this point about this map?
I kind of don't have time to worry about if I'm going to win or lose or not. I have to think about other things.
That is a superb answer. That's amazing. See, because I would only be worrying about losing right now, and nothing else. I would have lost all timing.
No, there's too much else to think about. It's just a waste of time.
You're not wrong. That's why you win tournaments and I commentate them.
I got really lucky with that air rocket there. That puts him in a really bad spot.
Is there a temptation here to rush him, or are you don't strike me as the sort of person that wants to 50-50, right? You're both low there. You'd rather take a major item.
I think I had rocket launcher only, so it's like maybe if I had a pincer, I could make something happen, but I don't have the weapons to make a fight like that happen. He has his full belt of weapons. It's just at that point, it's not even a 50-50, even though we have pretty similar stacks.
Right.
But yeah, I'd rather just stack up again, get all the weapons on my belt, and figure out some better time. I think I get the red there. So
now minorly outstacking him.
Yeah, I really don't mind letting my opponent take the mega a lot of times if I can make their health really low before they take it. And that's kind of what I did in this last fight. So now I get to outstack him.
And at this point, he's I mean, not that stacked. Shows up for the red. Doesn't have timing on it. Or he's second guessing himself at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's a little nervous here. But looks like I think I was coming from the blue for this. Yeah. And I thought I could catch him out at the blue, but he decides to go straight for the red, which it works sometimes. But if I went to the red, I think I could have killed him. I managed to get the mega though. So I'm still out stacking him, but he has a workable stack. He has all the weapons. He's still dangerous.
Right. 2 minutes left on the clock. Really getting to the pointy end of things, and there's certainly there's a threat that the next frag wins almost.
Yeah, I think still thinking about this next red. That's what I want to get. And so here I'm taking that position I talked about earlier, where I get a few rocket spams before he can get in and start doing damage to me.
Yeah.
So if you can find your opponent coming to you from this area, like it really in Diabotical, I think a lot of times it's like, okay, this item's coming up, and you never kind of want to be sitting on the item as it comes up. I don't know. Sometimes you do, but usually you want to say, all right, my opponent has a path to get to this item to attack it, and I'm going to go to like the most, like the first part of that path, and just leave a wake of rockets while backing away
Right.
To the item. And so that's what I'm trying to do here.
What do you think of this push from him? Is this...
I think it's probably pretty bad. I know I have a better stack, and then at the slow weeble, I'm kind of like, okay, I see, you know, you're a little overconfident because of the slow weevil, but I'm still feeling pretty good.
He gets the 50 here, which could have been pivotal. At the moment, your shaft's still pretty strong. You get stuck, ends up going through the telly.
Yeah, and here I just need to hit an easy rocket, but I whiff that one, and then I whiff a second one, and he hits 2 good ones.
So that push from him that looked pretty bad, just the 50 bubble's a difference maker there, of course. The slow weeble as well. Like, you had all the positional advantage, but then he had, I guess, the resource advantage.
Yeah, well, I think he also made some good damage happen out of that telly eggs. The miscalculation for me is like, oh, right, he's super low, easy splash damage off the telly exit, and then I whiffed the 2 rockets. I expected at least one of them to kill him, right. And he hits 2 really good ones. That's where the miscalculation happened in my mind.
But of course,
so he's up, but I don't really care. I was able to cycle everything on the map while he had to look for like just like kind of the tiniest bits of health around the map.
So I mean, you can see on the screen in the top left, your stack huge. His pretty lacking. You also have full timing at this point of both Mega and Red. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. He's 3-2 up, but it looks pretty ugly for him right now.
Yeah, and I was looking to trap out some blues. Let him get this Mega, which this is a mistake by me. But I get another red at least. And I think I want to fight at this blue. But his spam is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, so you're eating about 130 odd already. He now has a stack advantage.
Yeah. Definitely coming out of there. If I'm going to attack that way, I have to attack in a better way. Can't be... He hits some decent rockets. And here, I hear him go through this hallway. I'm like, all right, I think I can get red, right? Is that what I do?
Yep. See if I'm jumping down here.
Okay, I do the whole 180. You have to look, you know, so that's the whole thing where you have to turn around 180 to continue tracking, but instead of looking down, he's looking up this time. And so I do that thing again. So it's like not bad of a drop to get the red armor there. And I take away this health from him. I know he could use that health, and I could use it a lot as well. So I kind of push forward and go for that health. Hit a rail, he hits a rail. But
when it says golden frag, any nerves? Or are you okay?
No, I think I know after hitting that rail, and the Mega and the blue behind me are up, whereas the red and blue on his side have been taken recently. I'm pretty okay.
Okay.
It's you know, 1 frag and a spawn frag, and I win the game.
You can see I'm trying to put so much emotion in the game, and you're just always saying, nope, I'm a reasonable human being. I'm not getting upset.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of emotions in the tournament. Sometimes in practice games I get mad or whatever, but yeah, here I know he's super weak and I can just push. I want to push here because I'm a little stacked on the armors, so if I can push him before he can stack up on blues and stuff, it's a good situation for me. little risky here, but I knew I can't let him get a turnaround on this red.
And you've got a very strong pincer on you. I feel like you play quite confidently with it.
Yeah, I definitely. I think I was known for Rail and Quake Live in kind of North America. And then here, I know he's weak, so I want to see if I can do some damage here. That would put me in a really good spot if I hit a rail there or something. But I'm fine grabbing Mega, going back to red armor. So I take kind of a long route up above because red armor has some time to spawn, just so I have like the most amount of time chances of catching him out. And I read his kind of movement wrong there, and he hits 2 good rails.
But you've got the red to back up onto, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's definitely a lot closer now. So my advantage is he has all the major weapons. I have a little bit of a stack advantage, but after that rail, it's even. So now we rail once more. It's even. I'm thinking about this 25 HP bubble. And it's like, all right, you have to drop on me if you want. And so he drops. Here, you can pause it here.
Sure.
Yes. I was kind of waiting for the drop, and I'm like, I just need to do a ton of damage when you hit the ground. And when I hit that direct, I'm feeling pretty good. I dodged his damage on the 25. I grabbed the 25. And at this point, I throw the slow weevil just because, like, all right, you know, this is the fight of the game, probably. And you can't back away. I can still back away if it goes bad for me. And so what I'm thinking in my mind is I have kind of the blue-red behind me, and he has nothing behind him. So worst case scenario, I have enough stacks, so if I take some damage, I can still back away. And worst case scenario for him is he loses the tournament.
Right.
So he goes through that telly, and I know, all right, here, I hit a rail or he hits a rail. If I hit a rail, I win the game. If he hits a rail and I miss my rail, I just back off to the red, and we keep playing a little bit longer, but I'm still in the advantage.
And that's how you became the inaugural North American Diabotical champion. Was that a surprise to you that you won this event, or were you expecting a high placing?
I was going to be a little disappointed if I didn't get first place. I felt like I was the best player in the tournament.
Well, it certainly seems that way. Thank you so much, ZorakWar, for doing this for us. I'm sure everybody, myself included, has learned an awful lot. And congratulations on your tournament victory.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for inviting me.